Ama Ata Aidoo, a renowned Ghanaian author, playwright, and educator, has crafted numerous short stories throughout her extensive career. In 1995, she compiled 11 of these stories into a collection titled No Sweetness Here and Other Stories. Most of these narratives are set in Ghana during the late 1960s and early 1970s, just over a decade after the country's independence from the United Kingdom in 1957. Aidoo skillfully tackles post-colonial themes, employing humor and a straightforward style to explore the tensions between modernization and tradition, urban and rural life, shifting socioeconomic identities, and the intricacies of gender politics. The stories within the collection delve into subjects such as prostitution, divorce, and consumerism, often suggesting that despite societal changes, certain aspects remain unchanged. One story, For Whom Things Did Not Change, follows the encounters between Kabina, a progressive young African man, and Zijiru, an elderly servant at the government rest house where Kabina is staying. While maintaining a light-hearted tone, the story highlights the stark contrast between the two characters. Despite Kabina's insistence that Zijiru refrain from addressing him as Masa, Zijiru continues to do so. In Zijiru's view, Kabina's education elevates him to the status of a big man, and such individuals are inherently superior and deserving of respect. The only difference Zijiru perceives after Ghana's independence is that the categorization of big men is no longer based on race, but rather on social class. Nevertheless, the deep-rooted sense of inferiority experienced by individuals like Zijiru, who have grown up in a culture of dependence on authoritative figures, remains unchanged and deeply ingrained in their psyche. The story concludes on a somber note, exemplifying this notion, as Zijiru poses a poignant question, "My young master, what does independence mean?" In the message, a distressed mother frantically strives to return from her remote village to the Cape Coast hospital where her newborn child remains in the intensive care unit, separated from her. Uncertain of the details surrounding her baby's condition, the mother only knows that complications necessitated surgical intervention. She wonders anxiously about her daughter's survival while grappling with an unfamiliar and modern healthcare system. Everything Counts introduces us to a university professor who has returned to Ghana to teach African history, only to find that everyone around him believes that education should solely focus on Western literature, history, and culture, neglecting the significance of learning about Africa. With dismay, he observes his students obsessing over wigs to alter their hair and bleaching creams to lighten their skin, having internalized the notion that white standards of beauty reign supreme. A Gift from Somewhere narrates the tale of a mother who fiercely shields her son from his abusive father, discovering a reservoir of strength within herself that she never knew existed. In Certain Winds from the South, the story revolves around Issa, a young father in the village who feels compelled to leave his family behind and seek employment in the city. Despite his mother Mma's pleas to dissuade him, Issa departs without informing his wife, Hawa, not only in pursuit of better opportunities but also abandoning his responsibilities altogether. Following his abandonment, Mma bears the weight of self-blame, internalizing a culture that places the responsibility on women to hold on to their men while expecting little from the men themselves. In Something to Talk About on the Way to the Funeral, we observe two women engaging in gossip about the deceased, offering a voyeuristic glimpse into their conversations. The titular story, No Sweetness Here, unfolds in a small, impoverished farming community and juxtaposes the lives of two women, one striving for upward mobility and the other trapped in rural poverty. Chicha, an educated woman, arrives in the community to teach grammar to the village children and develops a fondness for Kwesi, a bright and attractive student. As she spends more time with him, Chicha begins to see in Kwesi the child she desires for herself. During a visit to Kwesi's home, she meets his mother, Mommy, who is in the process of divorcing Kwesi's abusive and neglectful father. Kwesi is the source of solace and joy in her life. While Chicha wants to sympathize, she finds herself consumed by jealousy over Mommy's bond with her son. Tragedy strikes when Kwesi is fatally bitten by a snake. It is only when Chicha pays her respects at the funeral that she fully comprehends the extent of Mommy's loss. Kwesi was not only her child but also her sole hope for a slightly better future. For Chicha, the tragedy is saddening but not world-shattering. She has always had the choice to leave the community and utilize her Western education to secure another job elsewhere, and that is precisely what she decides to do. Ada leaves an unanswered question lingering. If Western-educated individuals avoid the hardships of the developing world, how can their skills be fully utilized where they are most needed? I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did and be sure to subscribe. Thank you.